Join me today as we talk about hurricanes. Hi, I'm Cheryl, and welcome to Sold by Cheryl. I'm a local real estate agent here in the Central Florida area, and I get asked this all the time. So I thought it would be just really fun just to kind of explain how hurricanes affect this area and more or less what you can kind of expect living in Central Florida. So first and foremost, I get asked all the time, I want to live in an area in Florida that does not get affected by hurricanes. Well, Florida is synonymous with hurricanes. You kind of have to just make peace with it. But hurricanes affect the state differently depending on where you live. So if you imagine the state of Florida, what the insurance companies do is they have different wind zones. So if you live on the coast in Florida, then the homes are required to be, a lot sturdier because you're getting the direct hits from those really powerful storms, whether they're coming off the Gulf or the Atlantic. So you're going to need storm shutters, and there's so many building codes. So that's going to be a little different than us. We sit in the central part of the state, just a little bit north. So we are not required to have storm shutters, which is kind of crazy to me because I lived in South Florida for a long time, and it just was, a hurricane's coming and you get your storm shutters up. But they're not required here, and it makes no difference even with insurance if you have that, because I called and checked. So we're really not a part of that wind tunnel. The other thing is that we don't get that devastating storm surge. What storm surge is when the water comes onshore, starts to flood everything, it gets into the sewers, the sewer systems are all flooded, there's nowhere for all this water to go except up. We're too far inland, so we don't get that either. So that's another good thing. What we do get is a lot of rain, which it saturates the ground. We also have some really big trees in this area. So with Milton, which I'm going to actually post pictures of what my neighborhood looked like after Milton. So once that ground gets saturated and that storm moves inland and you get those high winds, well, the trees start knocking over. And as I like to say, they bring up a nice chunk of earth with them. So once those trees start coming out, getting knocked down, well, your power lines get knocked down, and we may not have power. I think with Milton we were out for 4 or 5 days, something like that. So that's kind of where we fit into all of this. Now, Mother Nature, she's going to do what she's going to do. I can't control that. Nobody can control that. Typically what happens is let's say a 3 is slamming into the coast. It will slow down, hopefully, as it moves inland. And if it hit as a 3, it should probably only be a 1 in this area. And that's not as bad as a 3, but if you're getting all that rain and trees are getting knocked over, it's still going to be impactful. And if we get a 5, well, that means it's going to be a 2 when it hits us, and same thing. So you get the idea. The other thing is, and this should kind of make you feel a little bit better, is that Florida is a well-oiled machine when it comes to hurricanes. There's one thing I can give this state all day long, is that when it comes to hurricanes, it is down to a science. They know how to prepare. And if you are a lineman living in another state, we just want to say thank you. We see you. We appreciate you. And to leave your families to come down before the storm hits, ride out the storm, and as soon as it starts to clear out, you guys are out there working, putting yourself in harm's way. Thank you to the bottom of our hearts. So right before a storm hits, if you're going down 75 or 95, you're going to see those trucks from all the different states. And I mean from all the states, from all over the place. They're sending linemen down here. They are getting them in a position to where when that storm moves out, they can start that effort to restore power to everybody. And it also, with the weather, watch your local news. They tend to be a little bit more focused on what your specific area is going to get, because if you watch the national stuff, they're going to go to the worst doom and gloom areas, and it's going to scare you more than you need to be. so that's kind of where we're at on that. So yes, hurricanes in Florida are synonymous. There's nothing we can do about that, but we get enough notice to prepare. Once you've gone through them, you know what to do so that you can prepare yourself in advance. Publix will have little booklets out that you can take for hurricane preparedness on websites. It's all there, so you can prepare in advance. And once the storm hits, then we're all in it together. And then once the storm clears out and we kind of evaluate the damage, another thing that I can say is that I've seen the best in humanity right after a storm, because we all have this big mess to clean up, and everybody just kind of pitches in and just gets to work, because we all just want to resume our life and get these trees out of the way and do whatever we can to help. So anywhere you live in Florida, it's been impacted by a hurricane. There's nothing we can do about it. You just have to embrace it, but just know that you can prepare and that there are systems in place to help with after the storm moves out. And, you know, we're all in it together, and it's, to me, you know, I love it down here. So yeah, we get hurricanes and they're not fun while we're going through them, but it's I wouldn't want to live anywhere else. So I hope that kind of eases your mind a little bit and makes you feel a little bit more comfortable. And thank you so much for watching. Thank you so much for watching, and I hope you found the video helpful. If so, please hit subscribe and ring the bell for notifications of more videos created just for you.